What's up?
Good morning, everybody. It's a great Tuesday here in the Dirty Kitchen, Alpha Graphics West Ave, San Antonio, Texas. And today we've got another great AG quote of the day coming to you. So this one comes from our guy named Gary V. He's a social media expert and he runs a big social media agency helping big companies like PepsiCo and Chase Bank do all of their social media online marketing. And he's got a great philosophy we're going to discuss. It's called jab, 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 right hook. So what does that mean? So jab, 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 right hook is something, if you think about boxing, that's where the guys are sparring and they're going to do jabs at each other until they have that open opportunity where the guy opens up or he misses his move, and then they can throw that right hook, knock him right across the chin. And that's another way to look at it too in business, through actually a giving and an asking perspective. So when you're jabbing, that's where you're giving out stuff. So we're doing that right now. We're jabbing you with this free content, this free value. We're jabbing you with our Instagram videos. We're jabbing you with our YouTube posts. We're jabbing you with our podcast. We're giving you all the value we can. We're giving you people free proofs to see what they can see before we print. We're even going out to folks, new clients that we've got recently. We're starting out by giving maybe, say, a free banner, a free set of business cards to people, just to kind of introduce them to the Alpha Graphics experience. And after you've done all those jabs and you've given that upfront value, then you've kind of earned the right to ask for something. So that's where you might ask for something in return. Let's say we've given some free business cards. They love them. They said, hey, you know, I know you like those cards. Could we do some for the rest of your company, for your entire group? And it's just where after you've given that upfront value, you've got people to know you, like you, and trust you, then that kind of gives you that open opportunity to go ahead and ask for something. Now, it doesn't mean take, it doesn't mean force yourself on them, but it does give you the right to say, hey, you know, I've proven that we can do this for you. I've given you this upfront value at no cost to you just to show you what we can do. Now, can we do some business together? So it's just a good philosophy to keep in mind. Don't always go in right for the close or right for the ask, but maybe you can give something, some added value up front before you start asking for all that stuff. And a good way to think about it, another way other than printing, let's say you're a photographer. Let's say that your cousin's getting married, she can't afford a photographer, and you say, hey, you know what? Let me step in, let me do some free photography for you, let me put it on Instagram for you, get your name, get your photos out there. Let's say that there's 3 other people that at that wedding that are getting married in the future, they're going to say, hey, who was your photographer? They did some great shots on Instagram, I saw those photos, who did that for you? Then your cousin's going to tell them your name. Next thing you know, you've got 3 new clients for 3 new weddings coming up in the next 3 months. And you did all that by giving that upfront free photography value to your cousin. Next thing you know, you've got 3 clients from it. So that's a good way to look at stuff today. Think about how you can give up value up front and do those jabs. And then when you have that open opportunity after you've proved yourself, you've given some free stuff away, then that's going to be your chance to ask. So that leads us into what we're asking you guys today. So we're going to be doing a free banner giveaway coming up on Friday. So just keep tuned, stay close to Instagram, to your LinkedIn today. Watch our posts. We're going to start releasing some info on how you can enter this contest, and we want to give you guys a free banner. So I don't care what you want to put on it. We'll hook you up with the design. We'll hook you up with the banner. We'll ship it to you if we need to. It's going to be completely free to you, and it's just a way to give that value, to do a little jab for you guys. And so watch our Instagram today, see how you can enter that contest and get involved with us, and we'll be doing that soon. So thanks for watching this morning. Remember, jab, 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 right hook, and keep it tuned to Alpha Graphics West Ave on Instagram and AG West Ave on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Okay, so sales meeting 27, almost to 30. Number 27, and today's...
My number, sir, it's my number.
Well, isn't that interesting? Today's meeting, number 27, the lucky number, is about the keys to a successful partnership.
Okay.
I was listening to this great interview on the weekend, and I was like, oh, this is what we should talk about. And we're going to be hiring, or we're actively hiring, so it talked a little bit about how to hire and add people to the partnership that you want to work with. So this comes from a guy named Howard Marks. Have you ever heard of Howard Marks?
Can't say that I have.
Okay, well, he's another investor. These investor guys, I don't know, they make an impact on me because they're able to grow these huge firms and create all this wealth just from making good decisions. So they're really good, clear thinkers. But I guess this guy, he's a well-known investor with a firm called Oak Tree Capital. They manage $128 billion of other people's money, and he himself is worth $2 billion, so pretty successful. And he's been in partnership with his partner named Bruce Karsh for 31 years. So 31 years they've been doing their thing. And they started 8 years prior to starting their own company. And then after they did that, it's been 23 years they've been running this Oak Tree capital firm together. So I thought that's pretty cool, 31 years as a team. So I want to take some lessons. He talked kind of about how they formed their successful partnership that led to a multi-billion-dollar company. They're both became billionaires themselves, so they went from starting to billions each, which is awesome. And I want to see how we can apply that to our partnership, because I figured that's kind of what we have here, is we got a partnership. So how can we make it more successful? So he said his first tip to having a good partnership was that you guys have to have shared values and complementary skills. So right away that jumped out at me, because I think we have both of those things. We have shared values and complementary skills. So he said it's important that you're working towards the same outcomes, but you're also not a carbon copy of each other. You have to have skills that can be complementary but used in different situations. So I think we have that. I think maybe you're a little more outgoing than me, possibly, a little more brave. And then
I don't know, I think you're brave too.
well, I don't know, maybe, but I feel like you're not scared to try stuff, which is good. Sometimes I'm a little more reserved.
Okay, I see what you mean now.
And I think maybe I'm good at thinking through what to do, and then you're not scared to try it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more improv.
Yeah, just go for it. And I like to think it through a little more, but those are both complementary skills and are good in different situations. So that was one. He said the second key is respect. So he said in 31 years they've never had an argument. And I thought that was pretty interesting. He said they've had lots of intellectual disagreements, but he said that it's never got to the emotional or the personal level over 31 years. So he said the key to having this mutual respect is to understand that when you disagree with each other, you realize that you both don't know everything. You have to consider your partner's point of view and realize that you need to listen to what they have to say and have an open mind. So he said you have to acknowledge the limits to what you know you yourself know. You don't want to fight with your partner to the death, because if you do that and you're in fact wrong, and it turns out that you forced your way and you got your way, and then in the end it was your way that was wrong, and that's the ultimate failure in a partnership, is trying to force your decisions and stuff on people, and they're not the right thing to do. So he said, keep in mind that what's important is what's best for the company and not yourself. So I thought that was an interesting point. I know we haven't really had any problems like that, but if we're together for 31 years, I'm sure we're bound to have...
If we're together for 31 years, I'm sure it'd be it's a reason why, and it's both because we're both yacht driving or chauffeured, whatever.
Well,
however you want to look at it.
If it goes well, there's no reason to shut it down, right? So,
exactly.
And then he said there's the third key that's been successful over the 31 years is just to control your emotions. There's no need to get into fights, just talk stuff out. Think of the best way. He said they have a lot of decisions where they want to invest in one thing and the other guy wants to invest in the other, and he said if they get into an argument and they say, no, when you do this, when you do that, they said they'll take some time, they'll go to their own offices, they'll think it through, maybe they'll sleep on it, and then usually when they do that, they see the other person's points are pretty valid and they come to some sort of an agreement on their direction. So again, I know it's a little over the top for us because we're not really making quite those kind of decisions yet, but I think they'll come. Yep. So he said then the last thing he wanted that he had some insight on is when you're adding a new person to the partnership, which we're actively trying to do. He said you need to be super aware of who you add into the fold. So he said they also need to have the shared values. You don't want to bring someone in that has completely different values, because that's going to cause problems. He said you want to enjoy spending time with them, and you want to know that you'll be able to work with them even when things get tough. So you're not just going to be fine when everybody's happy, but when things get tough, you're going to still want to have to come into work and sit down and work through the problems with that person. So he said, when you're hiring someone new, you got to treat it like a marriage. So if you don't think you can work with them in the long term, don't take them on the team. So I thought we'll keep that in mind when we're seeing who comes in. He said that they might be great at making you money, but if you can't stand them, and you don't want to spend any time with them, it doesn't matter how much money they make you, because it's going to be an unhappy work environment. So we're also going to have to think about that too when we add our new designer coming up as well. So we do have an opening for a graphic designer position coming up in, what month is it? It's October? Starting in November. So if you guys have that skill, you think you can add it to the fold and help what we're doing here, we'd love to have you send us a resume as well. And that's all I got for us today. So a short but sweet. And we'll just keep in mind that shared values, our complementary skills, use those together, respect each other, and control our emotions. And when we hire a new person, make sure it's somebody that we like and think is someone we can work with long term through the good and the bad.